Yeah, I think men are in a position right now where we're under attack in a lot of ways. Just the term masculinity, just the term man, it's kind of a landmine. You know, it's a minefield. And for me to be what I will say, and I don't consider myself alpha in the term of social media terms of alpha, I consider myself in an alpha position where I was at a high level of powerlifting. I was a big guy. I was tattooed and chest hair and all this stuff. You know, it looked every bit masculine, right? But I always appreciated other aspects, and I rejected them because I thought, well, to be masculine, I can't do these things. And I think that's where a lot of my unhappiness came from. And in those moments of depression or in those moments of darkness, going to an art show or going to yoga or going to all these things that are generally considered feminine really opened my eyes to a part of myself that I had shut down. You know, my grandmother, she took me to art shows from the time I was little. She encouraged me to do stretching and yoga and all kinds of stuff as a child. And it was like, at 5 years old, I was pretty happy, you know, so why don't I get back to some of this? So I think, you know, I am a man and I'm proud of that, but I also have access to this other side, this softer side, this more, you know, just a well-rounded side, I believe. But yoga, a lot of kettlebell work, a lot of movement work, and just a lot of psychological work, you know, not actually, like I said, going to a counselor or things like that, but just getting outside, putting my phone down, and just taking a walk. And there's a great quote from the book Born to Run. He says, if you have a problem and you can't figure it out on a 4-hour run, you either can't change it or it's not worth worrying about. So I think there's a lot of truth to that. When you quiet your mind, when you just get away from all the distraction, you're given an opportunity to think. You know, a lot of times we don't get the chance to think because we're so overstimulated. And I got into float tanks, which is sensory deprivation. That's another area where I was able to think and not have any outside inference. So I think, I keep saying I think, but I believe that we all have a balance of a yin and a yang. We all have a strong side and we all have a softer side. And I think until we access both parts, we're always going to be searching for something. And as I sit here, truly, I was in Pennsylvania just a few weeks ago with one of my friends who has been right there with me through a lot of the hard times, a lot of the darkness, and he's had his own problems. We were standing there at a veterans event and the Star Spangled Banner was playing, and I looked at him and he looked at me and we just both started smiling. It's like, we got through it, we figured it out. And it was a lot of that stuff where we just did exactly what we wanted to do and we stopped doing what we thought people wanted us to do. And when I was okay with that, then I started getting a lot more accepting of myself. Believe it or not, I actually wrote and choreographed a dance in college. Susan Spalding was my professor. She was a fantastic dance instructor. The dance was called Trickstasy. It was two people, and it was a balance of emotion, kind of a yin and yang presence at the time. And one dancer was very, very powerful and strong, and the other dancer was more graceful and welcoming. But in the end, they came together, and it was just. I will take that as a compliment, but I do. I like to cook, I like to paint, I like to write, I like to read, I like to be outside, and I miss so many things because all I focused on was the gym. And a lot of people look at that and they say, oh, you don't have what it takes. No, listen, I have all the skin in the game. I've got 15 surgeries, I've got a trail of tears that could show you how much I invested in this, and I just wish that I'd had the strength to access more things because I would have enjoyed it more. There's a great quote from the book of Five Rings, or Masahiro. He says, only when I chose to garden and paint and write poetry did I become a better swordsman. He said, because then picking up the sword was a choice. I controlled the sword didn't control me. And I related with that very, very well in the fact that I built my whole life around 5:30. My gym was at 5:30, 4 days a week. And if anything came between that, then it was not going to happen. I probably should have gone to some family dinners. I probably should have gone out with friends. I probably should have gone to an art show or gone to a movie or whatever, just so that when I went to the gym, it wasn't an obligation, it was a choice. And it was an excited choice. because I think we get to the point where we make everything mundane. And for me, having the ability to get up at 4:30 and go to the gym at 5:30 and be done at 6:30, and then I can go write and I can do all this. By 10 o'clock in the morning, you know, people ask me how I've gotten it all done. By 10 o'clock in the morning, I've worked, I've written, I've emailed, I've done all kinds of stuff. And then I have my whole day to adventure and do whatever I want. But it's a choice. It's a disciplined choice to get up at 4:30 in the morning, which means it's a disciplined choice to get in the bed by 10:30 or 11. And then throughout the day, I can catch a cat nap. I can sleep for half an hour. Or if I'm on a hiking trail, I can sit under a tree for an hour and take a nap or think or whatever. So am I less balanced? Oh, I'm more balanced. Am I stronger? By stronger you mean the definition of picking up a weight? Probably not. But am I a stronger person? 100%. And I think that sometimes we get lost chasing strength in one direction, that we lose strength in others. No, I'm not afraid of anything. I mean, I'm not afraid of dying, because I think facing that level where I was ready to take my own life, put it into perspective that I just look at things in this light. Anybody who says they can't do something is wrong. You are the winner by default. By conception, you're 1 in a billion, right? By the second that the sperm hits the egg, you're 1 in a billion. You've already won. You're the strongest. So then you come into this life and you have the ability, for some reason, whether it's God, whether it's the universe, you're here for a reason. And I think that, like Einstein said, everybody is a genius. Everybody has genius inside of them. But when the fish tried to climb trees, he was a failure. But if you stick to what you're good at, and when you stick to what you believe in and what your passion is, that's where the genius comes out. Even if it doesn't translate to success on social media. If you're happy doing what you're doing, I would damn sure rather struggle and starve and do what I loved than to be on top of the world and be miserable. I mean, you look at these Hollywood types or these celebrity types that have it all and they're still miserable. You know, I want to be happy regardless. And that's why I say the naked truth. I can sit right here, you could strip me down and I'd be happy.